We live in a world that constantly pulls our attention outward. From the moment we wake up, we are surrounded by reminders of what other people are doing, achieving, owning, or becoming. Social media, conversations, comparisons, opinions, expectations, all of it quietly trains us to look at others before we look at ourselves. And over time, this habit becomes so normal that we forget a simple truth. The most important person you will ever work on is you. Focusing on others can feel productive. We tell ourselves we're learning, staying informed, or motivating ourselves by watching someone else's success. But there's a thin line between inspiration and distraction. When too much of our energy is spent measuring our lives against others, we slowly lose connection with our own path. We begin to chase goals that aren't truly ours, adopt standards that don't fit us, and judge ourselves using someone else's timeline. That's when frustration, self-doubt, and burnout quietly creep in. Focusing on yourself is not about being selfish. It's about being responsible. You are responsible for your growth, your mindset, your actions, and your future. No one else can do that work for you. When you focus on yourself, you stop wasting energy on things you cannot control. Other people's choices, opinions, speed, or success. Instead, you invest that energy where it actually creates change within you. Comparison is one of the biggest thieves of progress. When you compare your beginning to someone else's middle or end, you distort reality. You don't see their struggles, their failures, or the years of quiet effort behind the scenes. You only see the highlight, and you judge your entire life against that single moment. This is unfair to you and damaging to your motivation. Everyone has a different starting point. Different resources, different challenges, and different responsibilities. Your journey is meant to look different because you are different. When you shift your focus inward, something powerful happens. You become more aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. Instead of criticizing yourself, you begin to understand yourself. You start asking better questions. What can I improve today? What habits are holding me back? What small step can I take right now? Progress becomes personal, not competitive, and personal progress is sustainable. Focusing on yourself also builds confidence. Confidence doesn't come from being better than others. It comes from being better than you were yesterday. It comes from keeping promises to yourself, from showing up when it's hard, from growing quietly even when no one is watching. When your self-worth is tied to your own effort and values, outside validation loses its power over you. Praise becomes nice. Criticism becomes information, and neither controls your sense of identity. Another reason focusing on others holds us back is that it invites unnecessary negativity. We judge, we envy, we resent, or we feel inferior. None of these emotions help us move forward. They drain mental energy that could be used for learning, creating, or improving. When you focus on yourself, your mind becomes calmer. You spend less time reacting and more time building. Peace becomes possible when your attention is no longer scattered. This doesn't mean you should ignore the world or isolate yourself. Learning from others is valuable. Observing success can teach you strategies. Listening to feedback can help you grow. But the key difference is intention. Are you looking at others to feel inspired and informed, or are you looking to feel inadequate and behind? When your focus is rooted in self-growth, others become teachers, not threats. Focusing on yourself also helps you make better decisions. When you are clear about your values and goals, you stop chasing approval. You stop saying yes to things that drain you and no to things that grow you. You begin to live intentionally instead of reactively. Your time, energy, and attention become aligned with what truly matters to you, not what looks good to others. Growth is not loud. Real change often happens quietly, slowly, and without applause. When you focus on yourself, you learn to appreciate this quiet progress. You stop needing constant recognition to keep going. You understand that consistency beats intensity and patience beats pressure. You trust the process because you are committed to it, not because someone is watching. There will always be someone ahead of you and someone behind you. That will never change. If you spend your life looking sideways, you'll never fully move forward. But when you keep your eyes on your own path, you'll notice how far you've come. You'll start to respect your resilience, your effort, and your growth. That respect becomes fuel. At the end of the day, your life is yours to live. Your potential is yours to develop. Your mistakes are yours to learn from. When you focus on yourself, you take ownership of all of it. And ownership is where real power begins. Not the power to control others, but the power to shape your own future. So choose to focus inward. Improve one habit, one thought, one action at a time. Celebrate your progress, however small it may seem. Let others run their race while you commit fully to yours. Because the moment you stop measuring your life against others is the moment you start truly living it. When you focus on others, you unknowingly give away one of your most valuable resources, your energy. Comparison may seem harmless at first, even motivating, but over time, it quietly steals your growth. Every person is walking a different path shaped by different circumstances, opportunities, struggles, and timing. When you compare your journey to someone else's, you are comparing two completely different stories. This creates an unrealistic standard that no amount of effort can satisfy because it was never meant for you in the first place. Comparison shifts your attention away from your own progress and places it on outcomes you cannot control. Instead of asking what you can improve today, your mind becomes busy calculating how far ahead or behind you are compared to others. This constant mental noise creates distraction. It breaks your focus, weakens your consistency, and slowly drains your motivation. You stop moving forward with confidence and start moving cautiously, doubting every step you take. One of the most damaging effects of comparison is self-doubt. When you see someone achieving more, earning more, or progressing faster, it's easy to assume you are not good enough. You begin to question your abilities, your pace, and even your worth. This doubt doesn't push you to grow. It paralyzes you. It makes you hesitate, procrastinate, or give up too early. Instead of learning from your mistakes, you punish for not being where someone else is. Comparison also blinds you to your own progress. When your eyes are fixed on others, you fail to notice how far you have already come. Small wins feel insignificant because someone else appears to be doing more. Yet those small wins are exactly what build long-term success. Growth happens step by step, often in ways that are invisible to the outside world. By constantly looking outward, you deny yourself the satisfaction and confidence that come from recognizing your own effort. Another problem with comparison is that it creates pressure to follow paths that don't align with who you truly are. You may start chasing goals simply because they look impressive on someone else. This leads to frustration and burnout because you are living according to borrowed standards. True progress only happens when your goals match your values, abilities, and purpose. That clarity disappears when comparison controls your mindset. Real growth begins when you shift the comparison inward. Instead of asking how you measure up to others, ask how you are improving compared to yesterday. Are you more disciplined than before? Are you learning from your mistakes? Are you making better choices? Even if progress feels slow, this kind of self-measurement is empowering. It keeps you focused, grounded, and motivated because the standard is realistic and personal. When you stop comparing and start concentrating on your own journey, growth becomes consistent and sustainable. Your energy is no longer wasted on envy or self-criticism. It is invested in learning, improving, and building a life that truly belongs to you. And in that space, free from comparison, your real potential finally has room to grow. Focusing on yourself creates a deeper understanding of who you are, and that understanding is the foundation of true confidence. When you take time to observe your thoughts, habits, and reactions, you begin to recognize your strengths and accept your weaknesses without judgment. This self-awareness allows you to grow honestly instead of pretending to be someone you are not. Confidence built this way is steady and real because it is rooted in self-knowledge rather than external approval. Many people believe confidence comes from being better than others, but that kind of confidence is fragile. It depends on comparison and disappears the moment someone else performs better. Real confidence grows quietly through consistent self-improvement. Each time you work on yourself, keep a promise to yourself, or push through discomfort, you reinforce trust in your own ability. Over time, this trust becomes self-belief. You stop needing constant validation because you know your worth is tied to your effort and integrity, not to how you rank against others. Self-focus also brings clarity. When your attention is scattered across opinions, expectations, and social pressure, it becomes difficult to know what you truly want. Focusing on yourself helps you separate your own voice from the noise around you. You begin to understand what matters to you, what aligns with your values, and what goals are worth your time and energy. This clarity makes decision-making easier because you are no longer trying to please everyone or follow trends that don't serve you. When you are clear about your goals, your actions become more intentional. Instead of reacting to situations or copying others, you act with purpose. You choose habits that support your growth and let go of those that hold you back. Even when challenges arise, you are less likely to feel lost or overwhelmed because you know why you are doing what you are doing. Purpose creates direction, and direction creates confidence. Focusing on yourself also helps you respond to failure in a healthier way. Instead of seeing mistakes as proof that you are not good enough, you see them as feedback. You ask what you can learn and how you can improve. This mindset shift reduces fear and encourages growth. Confidence strengthens when you know you can handle setbacks and continue moving forward without losing belief in yourself. As your self-focus deepens, distractions lose their power. You stop being easily influenced by others' opinions or achievements. Your progress may be slower or faster than someone else's, but it feels right for you. That sense of alignment brings inner peace. You are no longer rushing to prove yourself. You are committed to becoming better in your own way. In the end, focusing on yourself is not about isolation or ego. It is about clarity, responsibility, and growth. When you invest in understanding and improving yourself, confidence follows naturally. Your decisions become intentional, your actions meaningful, and your path clear. This is the kind of confidence that lasts because it comes from within and grows stronger with every step you take. Personal responsibility is one of the most powerful forces a person can develop. When you accept that you cannot control other people, their choices, opinions, actions, or outcomes, you free yourself from constant frustration and disappointment. Too many people lose time and energy trying to change what is outside their control. Real power begins the moment you shift your focus inward and take full ownership of what is within your reach, your mindset, your habits, and your effort. When you take responsibility for your mindset, you stop blaming circumstances for your situation. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of conditions or people, you begin to see challenges as opportunities to respond differently. This shift is empowering. You may not be able to change what happens to you, but you can always choose how you think about it and how you respond. That choice alone gives you control where others feel helpless. Habits are another area where personal responsibility creates power. Your daily routines shape your future more than any single decision. When you stop making excuses and start owning your habits, you begin to build discipline. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about consistency. Each small, responsible choice strengthens your ability to follow through, even when motivation fades. Over time, these choices compound, creating visible growth and lasting results. Taking responsibility for your effort is equally important. Effort is something no one can take away from you. You may not always succeed, but when you know you gave your best, you gain confidence and self-respect. This mindset removes fear of failure, because success is no longer defined only by outcomes, but by commitment and persistence. People who own their efforts stay focused, resilient, and determined, regardless of external validation. Shifting focus inward also brings peace. When you stop monitoring others, you stop carrying unnecessary emotional weight. You are no longer bothered by who is ahead, who is behind, or who is doing better. Your attention is on what you can do today to improve your life. This creates mental clarity and emotional stability. Peace grows when you accept responsibility instead of resistance. Long-term success is built on this foundation of ownership. Success that depends on others is unstable, but success built on self-mastery lasts. When you consistently manage your thoughts, habits, and actions, progress becomes predictable. You don't rely on luck or approval. You rely on yourself. This reliability is what separates those who dream from those who build. True power is quiet. It doesn't seek attention or comparison. It shows up in self-control, patience, and perseverance. It is the ability to stay focused while others are distracted, to remain disciplined when others give up, and to stay calm when others react. This power comes from mastering yourself, not monitoring others. When you take personal responsibility, you reclaim control of your life. You stop waiting for permission, perfect timing, or external change. You become the driving force behind your growth. And in that ownership lies the greatest power you can ever have, the power to shape your own future.